right, guys, what's going on? Today is Friday 13th, and you guys know what it means. We're gonna have a date, okay? So get ready. We're gonna spend probably about 30 to 45 minutes, maybe more, depending how active you will be. And of course, I will welcome your questions. So let me know what's on your mind, guys. What bothers you as of today, and what kind of questions you have about the topic that we're going to cover today, or just in general. You know, you might have different things going on, and of course, H-1B lottery is coming up. You may have questions about that. You may have questions about ending your OPT, STEM OPT, day one OPT, and things like that. And I'm going to respond to that. So let me know, guys, what's going on. So really excited to be with you here today. And let me guys tell you that this week has been pretty busy just in general, because not only we've been working on cases, but we've been really deep studying the precedents that have been coming out. And I made a few YouTube videos about the federal courts and what's going on with the overall merits determination, and this is some good stuff going on, guys. So make sure you check my videos that are coming out soon, and I'm not gonna spill all the tea right now and tell you exactly what are the news, but there is some good news. And I'll give you like a little teaser in a sense that there is a chance that the overall merits determination for the purpose of EB1A or O-1 is illegal. You guys heard that right. It might be illegal, although it's been going on for over 15 years, since 2010, since Kazarian decision by the, I believe, the Ninth Circuit, and that decision was implemented in the policy of USCIS, and since then we had objective and subjective analysis of the cases. But one of the federal courts ruled that that procedure, that policy, has a potential of being illegal. Okay, so we're tracking really closely that development, and trust me, if that thing goes on, if USCIS does not do anything about this, we're gonna have a period of time where the approvals are going to skyrocket. Okay, until after they do everything properly to accept the new old rules. Okay. All right. So we're not gonna talk about this right now, but if you guys know what I'm talking about, you can ask me questions. I will be happy to respond. All right. So a bunch of fresh approvals going on within the company. Yesterday, we got O-1 approved for one of our Indian clients who is in the US, who didn't get H-1B selection, and for 6 months, starting only with salary and 2 roles, we were able to work on the case, improve it, get it to the level of 5 criteria, and got it approved, guys. Okay, and the client was very happy. I was talking to her yesterday, and she said she feels pumped to start the EB1A process, because O1 serves as a great foundation to begin working on the green card. Okay. Also, we got EB1A approved for a financial expert from Russia without RFE as well, which is really, really good. We got a few business visas approved, two E2 visas. Okay, one from Armenia, one from Ukraine. All right. And guys, by the way, remember that if you are from the country that has limitations, one of those 75 countries that got those limitations starting January 21st, 2026, we still have ways to get you in. Okay? So let's talk first a little bit about the changing the policy in the US. And guys, you let me know what you think about that. Let me know, maybe you have other ideas, but I want to discuss this with you a little bit. We see the shift from overall immigration acceptance, regardless of what you can bring to the US, to the new vision of Trump administration, where they only want best people and also those who can support themselves financially. So people who can bring benefit to the US and those who can pay for themselves. Okay? We see that everywhere, okay? Regardless if it's immigrant, non-immigrant visa, it's just going through all the paperwork, through RFEs, through NOIDs. We can see that switch in the policy, okay? That shift in the policy. So what does it mean for us, for you and me? That means that those visas that we're working on, O-1s, EB-1As, EB-2NIWs, E-2, L-1s, EB-5s, those are the only 6 visas that kind of really hit both points. That you will bring benefit to the US, either through your talent, your project, or your business. And you are very likely be able to support yourself because you either have a job offer or you make money on your business or on your talent. Okay, so these visas, they are among the ones that will be the priority visas going forward. 2026, 2027, 2028. Okay. Until the end of Trump administration, we don't know who's going to be next. I believe the Vance is going to be the next president. Lord knows, unless Democrats wake up and start doing something, you know, Republicans are going to take over. All right. So that's the general take. That's the general take. How do we see that shift in the policy through indirect means? And first of all, I'm going to discuss with you something maybe not relevant to you yet, but that might become relevant in the future. So ICE raids and ICE arrests on a rampage, guys. Okay? And yes, the Trump administration says that we are arresting, we are detaining only those immigrants that are not only illegal, but also have either a court order or the police warrant for some criminal activity and things like that. But that's not all what's happening. There is more behind the curtain. And not only the US federal court expanded the powers of ICE to detain immigrants for extended periods of time without actually doing anything, but also the type of immigrants also changing. On top of those who have deportation orders or police warrants and things like that, now we have confirmed cases where people who are legally in the country with authorized stay, let's say in the process of changing the status, non-immigrant to non-immigrant, for example, tourist status to O-1 status, F1 status to H-1B, H-1B to O-1. You take any combination, okay? You take any combination. Also, I-140 approved with 485 pending the adjustment of status. And also, even those who are waiting for asylum interview, all these people, all these categories that I mentioned, they by law have authorized stay. They're not truly legal in the country, but there is authorization from Congress in that gap period while you're waiting for the approval of your petition. You kind of legal. Okay, it's like a limbo. It's legal limbo, but you kind of legal. Okay, or you definitely not illegal. All right, if you want to put it this way. And however, ICE is not interpreting that way anymore. So if you are in the process of changing your status, but your prior status ran out, you are eligible for the arrest. Okay? If they stop you, they ask you, and you're like, let's say you're on a STEM OPT, and we worked for your case for 6 months and filed it maybe 3 weeks before the expiration of your status or your grace period. And then, and this is just a hypo, then we got an RFE, okay? Instead of what we expected, an approval, we got an RFE. So now you ran out of your grace period on your STEM OPT, but you didn't get yet approval for O-1 visa, and you get stopped by ICE agent on the street, you can be arrested. Okay? Not only you can be arrested, but you also may be deported. All right? And of course, the second part is unlikely, but it's possible. It's possible. So what does that practically mean for you? Guys, nowadays, all the games are over. Okay? You gotta really treat carefully any immigrant move that you make. And when I say immigrant, anything that you have to do with the USCIS. Because now we need to strategize more than ever before to make sure that you do not have any gaps between the change or adjustment of your status. Okay? Very, very important. And again, of course, some of you will take risk, but to avoid all kind of risk, that's the way to go. What's the conclusion from that? Because this is kind of the solution, but what's the practical means of that? The practical means is that you guys starting your cases need to start them a lot earlier than the end of your status. And you guys love to come to me and say, Stanislav, I have 4 months to go on my legal status. I need to file O-1 really fast. Okay, if that's the case, we had to file it yesterday, not tomorrow. Okay, and that means for me that you either waited or you didn't know. Of course, I don't blame you guys, but who put you in this position when we have to file your O-1 case within 4 months, which is not really possible unless you have 2 teams working on your case and paying a lot more money, which I'm not a fan of. Okay? It's not about the money, it's about the resources, your stress, your hours of work, and our hours of work, and just overall condition of this case. We want to go calmly for 6 months, file it, having more time to deal with potential problems, get you approved, and then build a new strategy if it was O-1. Or if it was EB-1A, we want to make sure that we have enough time to file 485 and get you those work permit, advanced parole, and then the green card. By the way, you guys often ask me, Stanislav, how long does it take to get 485 adjustment of status approved after eligibility on immigrant visa? And I would tell you 6 months, and I would still tell you 6 months. But guys, today, the average case for green card after I-140 approval is about 4 months. Okay? So we get to have those 4 months with some of legal status, preferably, to get you that green card. Because if we don't, and you get arrested, or the police stops you, and the police officer is like one of those patriots, and asking you about your legal documents, which you kind of don't have, and they call ICE, and ICE come, and there's a big problem. Okay? Like never before, today, strategical planning of your future change of status, adjustment of status, anything you want to do within your case needs a lot more time and a lot more space, okay, to make it to make this transition smooth. All right, and guys, I'm not trying to scare you, okay? Because sometimes I give you the live stream, and then I read comments, or somebody texts Stanislav is trying to put us in fear. No, guys, I have a lot better ways to put you in fear. Okay, I'm telling you the true reality, which you may not hear from other attorneys who don't have as many cases as we do. Okay, because we know the industry, these are the only cases that we're picking up: the talent visas, the national interest, the business, the investment visas. We file a lot of cases like that on a monthly basis. We know the trends. We know what they want. We know what may happen. Okay, so when I tell you what's happening, and this is almost breaking news, because all these things happening as we go. Okay, because those arrests with people who are have authorized stay and waiting for the change of status, they just started happening 2 weeks ago. So if you have one case, okay, maybe it's a mistake. If you have two cases, okay, this is getting weird. If you get in 3-4 cases, not necessarily our clients, by the way, okay? Because right now, my clients who are in this position, sitting home and don't go outside, okay? Ordering food and ordering groceries because they're scared, and I understand, I understand the fear. At least it's going to be short-lived, because the change of status and adjustment, they're kind of happening pretty fast. So if you got in this situation, just don't be very active with your going outside. I know it's weird. It sounds like Nazi Germany or something like this. But, your future depends on this. Your future depends on this. Okay, let's see what you guys get to say. Akshat, hi. Hi, Akshat. Thank you for joining today. Minimum years of experience for O-1 visa. I have an internship in stock market of 2 months. This is a really good question, guys. Guys, listen to me. And listen very carefully. Because the experience is not the criteria for any type of visa. Let me repeat that. Experience in itself is not a criterion to any type of visa that we're dealing with. Akshat. So if I didn't do those visas on a daily basis, that would be the end of my answer. But there is more to this, okay? Because I've done hundreds and thousands of those cases. I know, just by my experience and looking at your resumes, looking at your achievement and your recognition in the industry, that O-1 visas usually start with 3 years of experience. Why? Why 3 years? Because if we have 3 years of experience, we probably worked in 1 or 2 companies, we had a few projects, and we're probably getting to the level of market salary. Okay, the salary that is in the market. And you'll be like, so what? What does that mean? Well, that means that we can satisfy 2 criteria out of the 8. The critical role in the company with the distinguished reputation and high salary. And why we satisfy the high salary? Because the market salary is usually above the salary that the government puts in the statistics. So you may say my salary is just average on the market. Yes, but that's likely be above the government statistics, the government vision of that salary. And you have those critical roles, maybe 1 or 2. So right off the bat, we have 2 criteria. And sometimes, depending on your industry, like in IT, it's very often we also have judging the work of other professionals. How? Code review, architectural review, audits of the processes, accounting, the optimization of the processes, optimization of decision-making process, data analysis. All these organically has the element of assessing what other people did, what other professionals did, right? Like a code review. If you do the code review, that means somebody drafted that code. So you're looking at it and looking for the mistakes, right? If you're looking at if you're doing the audit of finances of the company, let's say you're an accountant or financial expert, you gotta understand how that financial structure was built by some other professionals. Maybe accountants, maybe CPA, maybe people with financial background to structure the cash flow in the company. So you need to understand how it works in order to audit it and see if it works and how you can modify it. This is the judging of other professionals. So sometimes we have 3 criteria. Sometimes we have 4 if you work on some kind of project in the company and that project kind of spills into the industry, or it's getting monetized or brings some good things to the industry. Okay, so 3 years, Akshat, is like like pivotal point where we truly can start thinking about O-1. It's not black and white, but that's an average case, right? And then you want to ask, Stanislav, what about EB1A? How many years of experience you think is good from my experience from my cases to start EB1A? And I'll tell you guys, the best EB1 case with 10 plus years of experience. It does not mean that you cannot get EB1A with 5 or 7 years of experience, but it means there's more chances. Okay, it's more like a chance, a probability game, right? Like, what's the probability of a good EB1A case with someone with 5 years of experience versus 10 years of experience? Well, the probability is higher with the 10 plus years, just for the same reason as 3 years for O1. More roles, more projects, better salary, a lot more assessment of other professionals. Maybe you add awards and things like that. Okay, so I would say the good formula is 3 years plus for O1, disregarding the criteria, because it could be 7 plus years and no criteria, right? So it's about the probability. So 3 plus years, O1, and 7 plus years is EB1A. Okay? It also could be EB1A with 3 years of experience and O1 with 10 years of experience, right? We still need to pay attention to the criteria. But average case is like I said before. All right, very good question, Akshat. Very good question. Let me see some follow-up. Does publishing research papers help? Absolutely. Absolutely, guys. Publishing research papers is very, very good. Also, speaking at industry conferences is really good. Okay? Not only it could be an award for your petition, but also it shows the high level of expertise when organizers of those events call you to be a speaker. So it affects the subjective overall merits. And we know it may be illegal as of today, which would be really good. Who missed it, watch the beginning of the stream. But still, up until this goes to the appellate court and that strikes the overall merits, we still kind of have to use it. So speaking at the conference really affects the objective and subjective part of your petition, guys. Okay? So, and if we combine the two, the speaking at the conference and publishing your paper after the conference, that's even better. Okay? That's just like heaven-like level. All right? Very, very good. So, yes, Akshat, do as many research papers as you can and seek opportunities to speak at professional conferences. It's going to boost your petition really well. Please state average age while applying for O-1 visa. Let me think. I would say there is an average case for O-1 visas. It could be anywhere from, and there's a range. There is no one age, but there's a range of ages. So I would call 23 years, 23 to 35. Okay, maybe 25 to 35. That's the range. And if you guys think about it, it makes total sense, because within these 10 years, between your 25 and 35 years, you get your education, at least bachelor's, maybe master's, and you at least have 3 years of experience or more, which kind of give us the meat to work with. Okay? So, of course, I have and I had O1s with people in their 40s and their 50s and maybe even their 60s. And I did have EB1. I think my youngest client for EB1A visa was a lady. I can't even call her lady. She was a girl, like young girl, 22 years old, who got approval for EB1A. Yes, it was like long before the Trump administration. It was like in 2020. She was a jiu-jitsu. She was an athlete, okay? Which makes sense, because at this age, if you're really professional, you get to the high level of, or you could get to the high level of your athlete professional career, right? So sports, maybe not the best example, but she was 22 at the time of filing, and we got her approved through RFE, by the way. If we take the youngest person in a more like STEM industry, I would say 25, 26 probably was my youngest client, and I think it was a crypto analyst. The guy, the crypto analyst, very young but very successful, and I believe it was in 2022 that crypto analyst was the first EB1A case in the industry for that profession, because crypto was so young back in the day in 2022. Even though I know some of you nerds in this from 2015 and even earlier, right? I'm in this from 2017. But overall, in 2022, it's still young. It was younger back then. And there was no professional, big professional conferences, awards, judging opportunities for that profession. No associations. That case, guys, was so creative. Let me tell you, it was insane. Each criterion was alternatively proven, not directly. Almost each criterion. So yes, I think that was my youngest EB1A client. Okay, Akshat, really good questions, guys. Give me more questions, because I have things to tell you. But if you give me the questions, I feel like I give you more value. Akshat and everybody else, do not forget to fill out the free evaluation form. It's attached to our chat today. It's attached to the comment section. If you guys serious about staying in the US, changing your status, adjusting your status, if you're outside and you want to come, and I know right now things look really dull and daunting, but guys, let me tell you, historically, through my experience, the best time to start your case when everything looks like it's the end of the world. Okay? And this applies to every sector of your life. Not only starting your immigration process, but business, investment, maybe even relationship. I don't know. Any walk of your life. Because when things are the darkest, That means that soon we're gonna get the sunrise. Okay? Soon things gonna get better. So when you start at the bottom, the next step is going up. Okay? So that's my philosophy, that's my approach. And today, if you guys have a year to go with whatever your F1s, STEM, OPT, your internships, or whatever you have, your F1 visas, you'll be like, oh my God, the case is 6 months, and I have 2 years to go, and I can relax right now. Not at all, guys. Not at all. First of all the timing may change really quick. Okay, 6 months can turn to 9 or 12 fast. Second of all, you don't know where you stand with your evidence base. So if you don't know, how can you assess how much time you need to finalize your case? You just don't. You may assume, but your assumption may be wrong. So also, third and last, but not least, we have the reform of talent visas coming at us really quick. Yes, they promised the proposed laws in January. Didn't happen. Was not a surprise. You know, when DHS promises something, you gotta take it with a grain of salt because they're busy arresting the people on the street. Okay, so not enough resources to draft the laws, even though it's not the same people who's doing that. But it's coming. Okay, it's coming. Maybe they will release it this week, maybe next week, and then there's going to be a process of comments and changes and modifications, and we don't know if it's going to be a policy change or the law. The law is going to take a little bit longer, but the policy change is going to take really fast. Okay? So I do not expect that, and they don't call it reform, they call it modernization. You know, just a cool word, and we're going to modernize it. Okay, what does it mean? It's going to become harder, more expensive, and longer. That's what it means. Okay? And the manifestation of that could be easily one additional criterion to prove that you are talented. And you will tell me, Akshat will tell me, Stanislav, 3 criteria versus 4 criteria. Who cares? Because we're going to file 5, 6 criteria, so we're still above. Correct. This is correct. However, adding one additional criterion to prove your talent, your recognition, is going to affect not only objective part, but also subjective. So the officers will have more power to say, hey, this criteria is not enough to deem you with sustained acclaim. So guys, we don't know, but this is the reality of possible changes that they can bring on us. They can change things like how fresh your achievements are and how long you've been getting those achievements for and how dense those achievements are on the time span. Any of those changes may bring obstacles to the cases. So what are your real steps right now? First real step is philosophical, guys. And I do believe that the universe, on a basic level, is pretty easy. It's 0 or 1. Okay? It's yes or no. So it's duo. It's a duo, right? 0 or 1. 1 or 0. Yes or no. So the first step for you to decide, and you ask yourself, do I want to tie my life to the US? Do I want my kids grow in the US go to the US university, have access to the opportunities, or I don't want to do that. So it's a 0-1, right? If it's a 0, okay, that's it. You move on with your life. If it's 1, you guys need to act. The second step, the free evaluation. You fill out a free evaluation form. Within 2 days, I'll get back to you and I give you the assessment of your case. You have it or you don't. Again, 0 or 1. And 1 is the word potential in your case, right? You see the word potential, meaning that it's 1. We can go ahead and proceed to the next level of building your strategy for your case. That's called complex immigration planning, all right? And then, after you know everything, you know your chances, you know which cases, you know how we're gonna get you to the US citizenship, you know all your expenses, you know how you're gonna cover those expenses, you feel ready, then the last step is starting working on your case with the team. This is called complete case filing. No one is doing this for you guys. No one is doing this for you. Only we do, because we really care. Okay, so let me give you a few more news. Okay, you guys were asking me about the Fifth Circuit ruling on mandatory ICE detention. Okay, and the Fifth Circuit expanded the right of ICE to detain you, or detain people who could be detained, or sometimes could not be detained. Okay, so and this is by facility, by detention facilities. So this applies to Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Okay, the Fifth Circuit has those 3 states. So if you guys in those states, you gotta be really careful. Okay, really careful, especially if you're in the process of changing your status. Okay, H-1B reform, the one that we've been talking about for a very, very long time, is really now has a negative effect on rural hospitals. And you'll be like, how? How the rural hospitals affected by these new rules? Because historically, the rural hospitals were importing foreign doctors on H-1B to the US so they could work in those rural hospitals. And because right now we have $100,000 fee for H-1B employees that are outside of the US, those hospitals have a tough time to pay that fee. Okay? And it just makes things already dull for the rural hospitals. So adding that expense for them is really affecting not only the hospitals but the people living in those areas. So I think we need to talk about those things because we need to bring this up to the attention of the people and spread the information so those programs could be modified, okay? Modified and for the best interest of the US. For the best interest of the US. Okay. Now guys, my last point for today. And I'm gonna keep repeating this until you guys kinda make it your second nature thought, like the default thought. And that is O-1 visa as of today, and mind that we started with O-1 visa and we're gonna finish with it. So O-1 visa is the only visa as of right now that could be an answer to many of your potential needs in the US, regardless if you are in the US or you're outside of the US. Okay? And that's why in my company, we created 2 more pilot projects. We have more actually, but concerning O-1 visa, the combo project, which is a combination of O-1 and EB-1A, okay, with a really good deal for you guys who know that your next step is going to be EB-1A. And who is going to know? Mostly Indian nationals, our Indian clients, guys. There's only one way for you, if you're from India, to get a green card in the US. And this is EB-1A. Yes, of course, there's marriage-based and family. Very rare, because you guys like to keep it within your nation, just like many others, like Indians, marry Indians, Russians, marry Russians, and so on, right? So family-based immigration for Indians is almost non-existent, with the rare exceptions. So your only way to get a green card is combination of O-1 or H-1B to EB-1A. That's all. That's all you guys got. Okay? So do not rely on some kind of program in the future where Indians is going to get the benefit. I don't think it's happening anytime soon, if at all. Okay? So we need to know in advance what is the deal here. And the deal here is H-1B, which is really hard to get right now. So we substitute H-1B with O-1. And this is a good substitution because we build that foundation for the future EB-1A filing. And proceeding with this strategy. Okay? But everybody else, every other nation, Nepali, Chinese, Philippines, Koreans, Colombians, you name it. You guys, if in the US and you go into school, you're going to get O-1 visa first. Okay, after your internships. Those who are outside also going to get the O-1 to get to the US. And regardless if you're from the country with the sanctions or not, because O-1 yet do not fall for the sanctions. It may be in the future. We don't know that. But as of right now, it's still a green light. It's still to go case. Okay? So do that free evaluation so I could take a look and say if I can do your O-1 visa within the next 6 months and get your approval with 99% chance of approval. Okay? That's what you get with us when we start working on your O-1 case. All right, guys, good stuff. 45 minutes. I don't see any more questions. So thank you to all who came to this stream. Everybody, happy St. Valentine's Day. Spend tomorrow with your loved ones, with people you love. Recharge, build the stamina for the next week to be the most productive week in your life. Make the next week the most productive week of your life. And go do the work, guys. Do the work. Do not procrastinate. Make up your plans, build your strategy, and execute on it. My name is Stanislav Shamayev. I'm a lawyer of the future. Your future begins here.